What Boogeyman does to worms, it's cruel. Eating worms is not healthy. See, worms have feelings too. We have to stop this Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman is one of the most remarkable gimmicks in the history of professional wrestling. It's WWE's attempt at making our worst nightmares come to life. A remarkable character in the long line of supernatural characters such as PAPA SHANGO, KANE, and the Undertaker. It's the entity that eats live worms and also feeds them to his opponents. The Boogeyman is the master of psychological warfare. He terrifies his opponents by dressing scary and painting his face. The Boogeyman carries a clock and smashes it on his forehead, because time is up for his opponent. Sometimes has a fake plastic heart and carries with him an evil-looking stick. The Boogeyman is also portrayed as the good guy. His initial rivalries against the bad guys as some sort of punishment for their dastardly deeds. If you are a bad person, the Boogeyman is coming to get ya. After vanquishing JBL and Jillian's Mole, the Boogeyman moves on to the man that he would make his Wrestlemania debut with, Booker T, who at this time was accompanied by his lovely wife, the former 1991 Miss Black America, also former Nitro Girl Storm and former on-screen character Paisley, the lovely Charmelle. Booker T was at this time embroiled in a rivalry with Benoit for the United States title, a rivalry that started back in October of 2005, a rivalry that involved the best of 7 series that ended with Randy Orton wrestling for Booker T because of an injury, and that kept the title on Booker T up until the February 19th at the No Way Out pay-per-view. On the 3rd of February episode of SmackDown, after the Royal Rumble, they start sowing the seeds of Boogeyman's next rivalry. At least back then they planned this way in advance. It's like they cared or something. Booker T still with the title he would keep for another 2 weeks, and his wife Charmelle walk into a locker room, their backs turned to the opposite wall of the camera. Standing there is the Boogeyman, and Booker and Charmelle are unaware of the Red Menace. Strange noises are heard, but they don't pay attention. Eventually, Booker T asks his wife Charmelle if her stomach is grumbling. They realize they are not alone in this room, they turn around, and Boogeyman is eating his dinner. Out of the room, Booker and Charmelle run.
This is such good shit!
SmackDown, February 10th. Booker T is the guest commentator for the #1 contender match for the title he holds. The match is a 4-way between JBL, Matt Hardy, Chris Benoit and Orlando Jordan. Booker is in crutches to emphasize his injury. Benoit wins the match by making Hardy tap out with a crippler crossface, making the match, at No Way Out, for the 20th time, Chris Benoit vs Booker T for the United States title. Backstage, Booker T finds the general manager Teddy Long. Booker T tries to convince the GM that he's not fight ready. Teddy tells him that he either defends or forfeits the title. Later in the show, a little of Boogeyman is sprinkled in for good measure. As Booker and his lovely wife go to leave the arena, they open the trunk of their car only to find it covered with filthy worms. Their reaction is priceless.
This is such good shit!
Following week, February 17th on SmackDown, we find Orlando Jordan in the ring. Fun fact, Orlando Jordan wrestled the Ultimate Warrior's last match ever, a title match for the NWE World Heavyweight title on June 25, 2008 in Barcelona, Spain. WWE Wrestling Trope Alert. Wrestler in the middle of the ring trying to establish himself by challenging someone in the locker room, only for the worst ever option to appear. So Orlando Jordan challenges the locker room and spoiler alert, the Boogeyman comes out. Red Mist Clock Smash Pyro combo. Here comes the worm-eating entity. Side note, the fake plastic heart is gone again because continuity. Boogeyman arrives in the ring with a mouthful of wormy protein, causing Jordan to flee to safety. Boogeyman turns his attention to the referee, Little Nate himself, Charles Robinson, probably trying to convince the referee of the virtues of an all-worm diet. Jordan charges in from behind with a punch to the back. The Boogeyman has pure worm protein coursing through his body, so he doesn't feel pain. Yada yada yada, Boogeyman kicks OJ in the stomach and pump handle slam. Boogeyman wins by pinfall. Total match time 42 seconds. Orlando Jordan only lasted for 42 seconds, a whole minute less than Nunzio a few months back. So why isn't Nunzio in United States title contention? Nunzio lasted more than Jordan against the Boogeyman. Boogeyman grabs some pocket worms and decides to share them with Orlando Jordan, because sharing is caring. Then leaves, still munching on worms. Later in the show we catch up with Booker and Charmelle. They are guest commentators for a match between the bad guy team of Finlay and JBL and the good guy team of Lashley and Benoit. Booker interferes in this match, delivering a steel chair to the back of Chris Benoit, and JBL capitalizes and delivers a clothesline from hell, thus winning the match, and it's a miracle. Booker T is cured from his injury. Hooray, hooray! Next WWE event is the SmackDown branded No Way Out, February 19th. Boogeyman doesn't have a match in this pay-per-view, but the seeds of his next feud have already been planted weeks prior in backstage vignettes involving Booker T and Charmelle. Booker T loses his United States title in his match with Chris Benoit. After trying to forfeit the match and the title, Benoit calls him a coward and eventually makes Booker tap out with a crippler crossface, thus freeing Booker to tango with the Red Menace, the Boogeyman. This would last all the way to Wrestlemania 22, April 2nd, 2006, 6 weeks later. February 24th, SmackDown. Booker T just lost the United States title, and because the Booker T vs Chris Benoit rivalry had so many matches and was done to exhaustion for the better part of 6 months, he just moves on. Booker T is guest commentator for a match involving a tag team known as the Dicks. The Dicks are going to wrestle a handicap match against the Red Menace, the Boogeyman. This new tag team that had appeared a mere 3 months prior and is now being fed to the worm-eating entity. Booker T is going wild on commentary, starts talking about black holes in space and also burying Teddy Long for Teddy's alleged persecution of Booker T. Meanwhile, Boogeyman enters the ring while two terrified Dicks await for him. Yes, that's a real sentence I had to write and then read on the microphone. The Dicks attack the Boogeyman. Boogeyman's blood is pure worm protein, so he doesn't sell for these Dicks. He slams one Dick down, throws another Dick out, some slight offense from the Dick that wasn't thrown out to the outside, hits something other than the pump handle slam and wins the match. Boogeyman then grabs some pocket worms, munches on some and lets a few slide out of his mouth directly into the poor dead Dick beneath him. Disgusting stuff. Boogeyman now directs his attention to Booker T. Booker T stands up watching what the hell is the Boogeyman going to do. Boogeyman starts to make his way to Booker T, who flees to the fans while being scared out of his mind. The poor announcers Michael Cole and Taz are stuck by their headphones to the desk and can't move. Boogeyman then proceeds to drop an insane amount of worms straight in the desk. The show goes to commercial break, and when they come back they are still cleaning the worms. The following week, on the March 3rd episode of SmackDown, Booker T is opening the show. Laughing all the way to the ring, Booker T is going to have a match with yet another blast from the past, Tatanka. Side note, Tatanka is 44 years old at this point in time and is enjoying his last run in the WWE. Tatanka had left the WWE 10 years prior on March 18, 1996. After wrestling his last match on Raw against Bret Hart. Booker T and Tatanka are having a match, during which Taz on commentary says he is the elite color analyst, Testradamus Jones. Match goes on until it's time for the Spinneroonie, and as Booker is setting up for his signature move, cue the red mist, amazing facial expression on the face of Booker T. WWE Wrestling Trope Alert. Boogeyman is behind the announce desk. Booker T is distracted by this. and Tatanka takes advantage and rolls up Booker T for the win. Basically the same thing that happened a month prior when JBL was wrestling Bobby Lashley, another wrestling trope done to death by the WWE. Charmelle and Booker flee for safety. Booker T uses his wife as a shield while doing so, because he's a heel. March 10th on SmackDown, Booker and Charmelle come out to the paying audience looking scared and checking corners for the Red Menace. Charmelle has a mailbag with her. Are they going to read some fan mail? I wonder. Charmelle and Booker have some letters from concerned entities regarding this whole Boogeyman situation.
I got this letter right here from Bruce Gordon, president of the NAACP, who says the Boogeyman is a bad role model for minority children. The Boogeyman is rolling back all the gains we made in the civil rights movement. Dan Matthews, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Peter says what Boogeyman does to worms, it's cruel. See, worms have feelings too. From James Melvin, the executive editor of Worm Digest. We have to stop this Boogeyman. From the President's Council on Physical Fitness. And I quote, eating worms is not healthy. It's not sanitary. It's a horrible nutritional choice.
This is such good shit.
Next, Booker T calls out his arch-nemesis, Teddy Long, who answers from his office and makes a match for the WWE's next event, the returning Saturday Night Main Event on March 18, 2006. Booker T is irate, really doesn't want to face the Red Menace, proceeds to throw all the letters in the air. Then, suddenly, the bag starts smoking the signature Boogeyman Red Mist, and surprise surprise, the bag is filled with worms. All this time, poor Charmelle had a bag full of worms. Booker T goes to flee as Boogeyman's music plays. Booker T tries to flee, leaves his wife behind, turns back and cue the clock smash pyro combo. Boogie gets to the ring as Booker T and Charmelle get the hell out of Dodge. Boogeyman then eats some worm protein to celebrate.
See, worms have feelings too.
We are now 24 hours away from the supposed confrontation between Booker T and Boogeyman. March 17th on SmackDown, Charmelle comes out scared in a beekeeper's outfit. Funny. Charmelle can hardly speak out of fear for the Red Menace. She introduces her husband. Booker T comes out and drags his wife to the ring. Booker T is wrestling indie wrestler The Fire, Jeremy Young. Booker proceeds to dismantle Young and calls Young Boogeyman while doing this. Young gets some offensive moves in, and Booker T flattens the enhancement talent while the people are chanting Boogeyman. See, the people go with the Boogeyman if you don't have him assault defenseless women. Booker T wins with a scissor kick. Right after Boogeyman's theme plays, Booker T is suddenly all brave and goes to meet the Red Menace. But no one's there, so Booker returns to Charmelle, then tells her to hide under the ring. Booker T follows and they both go to pay a visit to Hornswoggle. Turns out Hornswoggle is not home yet. He only made his first appearance 2 months later on the May 26th episode of SmackDown. So screaming out from under the ring come Booker T and Charmelle. Following them is, surprise surprise, the Boogeyman with his mouth filled with wormy protein. Booker is scared as Boogeyman continues to get his grub on. It's March 18th, Saturday night's main event. WWE's return to Saturday nights on NBC after a 14-year absence. Once again, WWE is filling in for Saturday Night Live, who was on hiatus because they have a union and actually get some rest once in a while. Then Swerve City, we find Booker T in a locker room doing an Oscar-worthy performance. Booker T is faking an injury, classic Booker T. Booker T shines in these types of promos. This great backstage promo goes for some time, and I'm not complaining. The doctor says he can't evaluate Booker's condition without going to the local medical facility. He says medical facility because using hospital could potentially cause the fans to rush the local hospital to see the wrestlers. The doctor concurs that Booker is in so much pain that he can't wrestle. Booker grins as he leaves.
This is such good shit.
A few moments later, Booker and Charmelle are celebrating their deceiving ways in their own private locker room, as they plan to go dancing the night away. Cue the red lights, and from out of the ceiling appears the Red Menace, and Booker and Charmelle sprint away to save themselves from the Boogeyman.
This is such good shit.
The following SmackDown on March 24th, Booker T and Charmelle are going to face the music. Teddy Long confronts Booker T about the happenings of Saturday night's main event. Teddy Long threatens Booker with dismissal if he doesn't sign the contract for a match between Booker T and a yet unnamed partner against the Boogeyman at Wrestlemania. Booker T then cuts an awesome promo on Teddy and eventually agrees to the match. Booker tells Long that he hopes his partner is ready, then Teddy drops the hammer and commits Booker's wife Charmelle to the match. It's Booker T and Charmelle versus the Boogeyman in a handicap match at WrestleMania 22. Wonderful! Here we are, the last stop on the road to WrestleMania, SmackDown, March 31st. In this episode, Booker T is wrestling the pirate Paul Burchill. Remember when SmackDown had a pirate? WWE in 2006 was wild. Booker and Charmelle come out in red-colored matching outfits. Charmelle is terrified of the Boogeyman showing up. The match carries on and Pirate Man lands a standing moonsault on Booker. Booker regains control of the match soon after. 3 minutes in, cue the red lights. Booker stops having a match with the pirate and goes to his wife. He checks under the ring because 2 weeks earlier the worm-eating entity was hiding under there. While he's doing this, Queen Charmelle is alone on the opposite side of the ring. WWE Wrestling Trope Alert. Boogeyman is behind Charmelle. Boogeyman is foaming at the mouth while standing right beside her. He is also doing his signature dancing. Eventually Charmelle turns around and screams at the sight of the Red Menace. Boogeyman kidnaps Charmelle while Booker T is too terrified to do something about it. Boogeyman goes backstage and Booker gives chase. Paul the Pirate Burchill win this match by count out. Later in the broadcast, Booker is searching for his queen. Eventually stumbles on a worm trail, decides to follow the disgusting trail of wormy crumbs, which leads to a screaming Charmelle. She's standing on a production flight case next to a wall, surrounded by Boogeyman's filthy, disgusting dinner. Boogeyman's presence is felt, but his location is unknown. Charmelle jumps on Booker T's lap, and off in the distance we see Boogeyman laughing maniacally in a terrifying manner. Boogeyman is the master of psychological warfare, as Michael Cole puts it on commentary. It's finally here, April 2nd, WrestleMania 22, nicknamed Big Time, the one where Edge speared Mick Foley through a flaming table. Sadly, according to the internet, Boogeyman had a biceps tear that he sustained at a live event, and supposedly the match was cut short because of this. We catch up with our antagonists, Booker and Charmelle, backstage in a hallway. In anticipation of their match with the horrendous Boogeyman, Charmelle is begging Booker not to make a wrestle in the match against the Boogeyman. Charmelle asks her husband why are all the freaks attracted to Booker T. I myself wonder the same, but it's great TV nonetheless. A wild pirate appears swinging a pirate sword. "Arr, matey," he says. Eugene gets his ball kicked by the $1 Million Man, followed by "It wasn't my fault, Snitsky," worshipping Mae Young's feet. Moolah just standing there collecting a paycheck from Vince McMahon. And further down this hallway, another blast from Booker T's past appears. Goldust in a formal dress and a curly wig does his trademark inhale routine. Booker T proceeds to insult the Natural, and it's the end of this backstage segment. Next is finally time for this highly anticipated match. Charmelle and Booker come out scared out of their minds. It's finally time to face the music and confront the Red Menace. Booker T and Charmelle are so scared that even their own pyro startles them.
This is such good shit.
Booker T checks under the ring before entering. Boogeyman's entrance theme and red light appear. Cue the clock smash pyro combo, a Wrestlemania worthy entrance for the Boogeyman. Boogeyman gets in the ring. Booker T is so scared he hides behind his wife. Volunteers his wife to be the first to confront the war-meeting entity. Charmelle distracts Boogeyman and Booker takes advantage by attacking him from behind. Charmelle, the master of distraction, switches to distract the referee, Little Nate, Charles Robinson. Booker T then kicks the Boogeyman square in the family worms. Booker T super kicks Boogeyman and attempts a pinfall. Then Booker tries to choke Boogeyman in the bottom rope after a flurry of punches. Boogeyman's body is 90% worm protein, so he doesn't feel pain, and he doesn't sell Booker T's offense. Booker pretends to back off, then tries to kick Boogeyman. Boogeyman catches Booker's feet but can't capitalize. Booker T spins the Boogeyman and delivers his signature move, the Bookhand, and another near fall. Boogeyman retaliates with some offense and forearm drops Booker T. Boogeyman then delivers Booker T right to the ring post. Boogeyman is hungry mid-match, goes for some pocket worms, nyom nyom nyom. Disgusting really. Editing this endless collection of worm eating is going to be challenging. Charmelle attempts to capitalize on Boogeyman's lunch break. She is going to hit him with his own evil stick. Charmelle gets caught red-handed, gets scared. Great acting by Charmelle. She then receives a disgusting kiss with a mouthful of worms by the Boogeyman. Charmelle flees to the safety of the backstage area while screaming her lungs out. An irate Booker T attempts revenge on the Boogeyman. Boogeyman sidesteps, causing Booker T to crash into the turnbuckle. Boogeyman then applies his other finisher, the Boogie Bomb. Boogeyman was injured and was not able to apply his excellent pump handle slam. Boogeyman wins by pinfall and the crowd goes mild. Boogeyman eats some worms and slithers out of the ring. Booker T also leaves the ring not knowing exactly what happened. After Wrestlemania, the Boogeyman was written off TV. Charmelle mentioned on SmackDown that she had filed a restraining order against the Red Menace. Sadly, the Boogeyman never quite captured the same level of excitement. He would be fired in September of 2006 and then rehired the following month in October. Then he would languish on SmackDown where he feuded with Finlay, and then he was sent to the newly reformed ECW. He was released in 2009 but still makes regular appearances in the WWE when needed, and is a regular presence on the independent circuit. This video is part 3 of a 3-part series comprising the entire first year of Boogeyman's WWE wrestling career. If you'd like to watch the rest of the videos in the series, links are in the description. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment of your favorite Booker T moment in the comments. This was definitely my favorite Boogeyman rivalry, and Booker T can do no wrong in my eyes. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to push that like button and also subscribe for more future content. This has been fun, see you next time.